Welcome to the podcast, man. I'm glad
Thank you.
you could be a part of it, man. How you
Yeah, I'm
doing?
definitely glad I could be here.
Yeah, before we get started, why don't you go ahead and put your socials in, man, so people know how to um, get
Oh,
in
sure.
contact with it. Like I mentioned,
Um, go ahead.
Captain Conk, he's also a Twitch streamer. You're kind of a variety streamer, right?
Yeah, it's been a while since I've streamed, admittedly, because I'm super busy. But yeah, when I do stream, I stream a bit of everything. A lot of FPSs though, like the Halo, Call of Duty, things like that.
I love shooters. Didn't you say you just got Battlefield?
I did. Everyone has given it so much hate online.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. I really enjoy it. Like, granted, I've only played a handful of games because, again, I've been busy, but I enjoy it for what it's worth.
hmm But yeah, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and let people know who
Sure.
you are?
So, um, I'll start with this. You all know me as Captain Conk. My name is Chris. I'm cool with either. Um, when it comes to Pokemon, I was introduced to that when I was young. I think like maybe I want to say like 6 or 7 when my older brother first got his hands on a copy of Ruby,
Mm-hmm.
and it was mostly him that was playing it, but I would kind of like, do the little brother thing and peek over his shoulder, see what game he's playing, and it seemed super cool. Like I was getting easily super invested. And then one thing led to another, and it kind of developed into my obsession when I was younger.
Yeah.
I to the point where, so this is a very specific memory, but my in 3rd grade we had a I don't know like what we called it, but it was basically like a day where everyone showed off their hobby.
Mm-hmm.
Like everyone in the class, kind of like a show and tell, but like it was rather than it being like one person at a time, we like set it up on our desks and like walked around the class and had people like tell each other about it. It was really fun.
Yeah.
And mine was Pokemon. So I had a huge box full of cards there, as well as like a bunch of stuffed animals, a bunch of like little figurines. I had these Pokemon marbles that I was like obsessed with when I was younger. So I had them too.
Was it the
So my
marbles or like the bouncy balls? Because I collected the bouncy balls. I don't know if you ever saw those ones. Maybe that was
I
before your time.
it wasn't the bouncy balls. It was I'm fairly certain they were marbles. Like
Really?
they
Like were they
weren't like
bigger?
glass marbles. They were like
Oh, okay.
plastic, a little bit
Oh, okay.
bigger. But I have no idea if I still have them.
Yeah.
They're probably somewhere in this house, but that would be a whole endeavor trying to find them. But yeah, ever since then, I've always been like super in love with Pokemon. I think my first game that I owned and played was Pearl.
Okay.
So I obviously I instantly bought Shining Pearl and I've been playing the heck out of it.
Yeah.
It's such a wave of nostalgia,
Yeah. Have you
especially
noticed the difference
huh?
in it?
Yeah, some people I feel like would argue that they made the game easier. I honestly think that they just kind of made it like they added some like quality of life updates in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion. Like so rather than having to have one Pokemon be like your HM slave for lack of a better term,
Right.
like you have hidden moves. So like you don't have them assigned to a Pokemon, you just use the move. And
Oh,
I think
okay.
that that is awesome. So I'm a big fan of it so far. I'm about to battle the 3rd gym. I think that's where I'm at. But yeah, I really like it.
Yeah. I've been on the fence about getting it because I'll be honest, I still haven't even finished Sword. I'm like
And
at
that,
the
yeah,
very end where you have
okay,
to like beat every gym leader again. Um,
yeah,
so I'm like
the
right
Champions
there.
Tournament
I
or
don't know.
whatever it's called.
I after I think the last game I played was Silver.
Okay,
So I think Diamond and Pearl came out maybe like 2 or 3 games after or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Pikachu in chat said, "How old are you now, Conk?" I am 23. I know I look like I'm about 16, but I am in fact 23.
Hey, you know what? A lot of people think I'm younger than I am, but I actually take it as a compliment because when you're like 40, you'll look like you're 30, you know?
Yeah, my that's my joke is that like the time that I finally stop getting carded at bars is when I'm gonna be like 50 years old and finally look like I'm actually over 20.
No, but I definitely feel
Like,
you though, because that's why I grow a beard. I literally grow a beard because
yeah,
I'll look like I'm 16 too if I don't.
I wish I could do the same, but I
It's
find myself not shaving for months, and the best I get is a little dirt stash right here. It's not a pretty sight,
the trick
but
is you have to shave every day, even when you don't have, and then you just gotta let it grow.
well,
But
how am I
there,
supposed to shave every day and let it grow?
no. You actually like. So that's what I did. I started shaving when I was maybe 16, 17, and but I mean I did have hair, but that's what my uncle, I don't know if that's true, but my uncle said just shave every day
Yeah, people tell me that.
and
Like people is
it
like,
grows back faster.
yeah, I guess I'll have to try it. I don't know. I'll report back to you in like maybe a month or two.
Yeah, it's all good. So have you always been into Pokemon?
Yeah, for sure. It was only there were probably a couple years in my life where like I wasn't as into it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, maybe because like I went through that sort of like I'm too cool for it phase, big
Yeah.
air quotes there. But I I definitely it went from like me collecting all the cards, collecting all the random stuff, like playing every game to only playing a couple of the games,
Mm-hmm.
like maybe like around high school, like just like picking up like, oh, I see that there's a new one, maybe I'll try it out. So now in the recent like 2 3 years, I've really been starting to get back into it, and like I started collecting the cards again. I have religiously been playing the games. I bought Sword and Shield on release. Obviously, Pearl I bought on release. So I'm more into it now than I was probably like a decade ago,
Yeah.
but it's always been a part of my life. Like it's something that I have remained a constant fan of.
Yeah, I mean, I give you props, man, because I got to a point in my life where I was like you said, oh, I'm too cool for this, and maybe my friends weren't too into it; they're more into sports. So just to
Right.
fit in, you're like, oh yeah, I'll put it
Absolutely.
aside. I'll put it aside for now. But
Yeah, like I'll only play it like at home. Like I won't like bring my DS anywhere like I used to.
yeah, but it was really cool. I mean, I think like now that we're older, right, and we have money to collect and spend.
It is a problem.
Yeah.
It is absolutely. I have adult money now, and no one should have given me that ability.
Yeah, I always say being adult is just um, it just means you have money to buy the stuff that you couldn't when you were a kid. That's all it means.
Absolutely. Yep.
That's cool, man. So why don't you tell everyone what is it that you do for a living and yeah.
Sure. So I just graduated from college back in May.
Oh,
Got
cool.
my Bachelor of Music in Music Education from the college in New Jersey.
That's awesome, man.
And yeah,
Congratulations.
thank you. Yeah,
That's
I'm
definitely
very
an
excited about
accomplishment.
that. And now I'm just kind of at this awkward point in my life where I'm trying to find a full time job.
Right.
And in the meantime, I'm substitute teaching and I am working at an AMC theater.
That's awesome, man.
Pikachu. Yes, I am trying to be a music teacher. Ideally, high school. But I'm at the point where I'll take what I can get.
Right. But you said you teach band at your high school, right?
I am technically my position is a brass technician, which basically just means that like I teach the instrumentalists specifically,
Right.
but I help everyone in the band. Like I'll teach them how to march, I'll teach them like where to go in their drill,
Hmm.
things like that.
And band is like something that's been a big part of your life, right?
Absolutely. I first started playing the trumpet in 4th grade, like as early as I could. Were you in high school band? 100%.
Hmm.
I so I started playing in 4th grade and I played all through middle school. I got to 8th grade and I was at that point where I was like going on to high school. I was like debating like, "Ooh, I don't know. Do I want to still play my instrument? Like do I really care?"
Yeah.
And then I had like I think it was maybe 6 or 7 different people approach me and say like, "Hey, you should do marching band." And I was like, I don't know, maybe. But so I decided to go to the first rehearsal, just
Right.
like to try it, test the water. I was hooked right off the jump. I
What is it that got
did
you hooked?
um a lot of it was the people. It was a great group of students and the director was awesome. He was kind of a jerk, but he was I everyone always made jokes that I was his favorite. Like I was kind of the teacher's pet when it came to him.
Because it was just because
But
you're the best, right?
I mean, yeah, absolutely.
That's usually the case, right? If the teacher
Yeah,
favors the person that outperforms everybody, that's just how it is.
I mean,
And
you're not wrong at
that's
all.
why they hate you, because you're.
Yeah. Like freshman year came into high school and like I joined the marching band, so I was doing that all summer. So the director got to know like how I play and like my ability and all that. And then one thing led to another and little freshman me ended up being like first chair trumpet in all of the ensembles.
Uh-huh.
Like I guess I had a knack for the instrument. Like I don't know how to explain it, but it things worked out in my favor. I got such an amazing experience throughout it. And I senior year I was drum major of the marching band
Okay.
and I
Drumline.
we had an amazing season. Like I probably one of the most like winning seasons that our band program has had, which was really cool.
Right.
But we yeah, I was always hooked on it. I was like the band kid in high school, you know? Like everyone associated me with band, but I was kind of okay with that cuz
Hey.
I also did sports.
Right.
I was a swimmer all 4 years. I was on the track team. I was on the soccer team. So I was all over the place
You're
in
a
high
jack of
school.
all trades.
Yeah, absolutely. And I had to learn how to play all the like mainstay band instruments.
Really?
So,
So they make you learn, or you have to know before you go to school? Is that kind of how it is?
well, no. So you I did it in high school just because I why not?
Mm-hmm.
My high school band director just towards the end of some of my years, like if it was getting to be like, you know, like June-ish when school was gonna get out and we were done all of our concerts, he
Right.
would just say, like, hey, you wanna try playing a different instrument today? And like we can sight read this piece. I was like, sure. So when I was in high school, I tried like the French horn, I tried the clarinet, and I was terrible at them in high school. But in college, I actually like was able to sit down and like practice the instruments more than just like a one time 40-minute band class. So now I like to think I could sound decent on any instrument you give me.
Right. Because you can sight read and
Yeah, like I know how to read the music, and
Mhm.
it would take me some time, but I would get there.
Yeah. I think if I go for my masters, that's what I want to do is masters in music composition.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah. I
That was a path I was thinking of taking not at some point, but I was debating. I know I need to get my master's at some point, but I'm at
right.
a I'm at a weird crossroads trying to figure out exactly what I want it to be.
No, yeah. I mean, I'm kind of in the same position because I completely changed my career path, and I'm actually changing it again, but that's due to the
Right.
pandemic, not by choice.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I get what you're saying. You want to get in your field because you probably feel like you've been in school forever, and you just want to start working and use the schools or the skills that you learned. So I totally get what
Absolutely.
you're saying. Um, was there like what is there any advice you would give like your younger self, um like going
Hmm.
like into like band or maybe like because for me the advice I would give myself is to not be afraid of the future and just do what you're passionate about, like what you love. And because I've always loved music, and I always kind of like stop myself because my parents are like, oh, you'll never make a career in that, you're gonna struggle all
Hmm.
your life. And because let's be honest, music is it's a hard road to go down.
It's a very tough field.
And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to get you on the podcast, because that's something I kind of struggle with all the time. It's like, man,
Right.
how am I going to make money doing this? And so, like, is there any advice you would give yourself now with the knowledge that you have?
Um Honestly, I guess if I could go back, I would say lean harder into the music. Like I It took me until my senior year of high school to realize that I wanted to teach music.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was going back and forth on what I wanted to major in at college. There was a small period in my life where I was thinking, you know what? Biomedical engineering sounds cool. And now I look back and I'm like, what was I even thinking?
Yeah.
So I guess if I could go back, I would just like tell my younger self, lean into the music. Cause it's not like I hate to say it, like I'm not like a great instrumentalist, but if I went back in time, I would definitely spend more time with music. Like I would be practicing more. I would be going out for more auditions or
Right.
things like that. Like I and maybe if I did and I came time to pick a college, I could have gone to a no, I don't want to say a nicer music college, but like there are like definitely like colleges out there that are like peak for music
Right.
that I could have done. But at the same time, I always hate answering the question of like, "Oh, what would you do if you could go back in time and like talk to your younger self?" And I don't mean that as a stab at you.
Uh-huh.
I cuz I am a firm believer in that every decision I have made has led me to the point that I'm at in my life,
Definitely.
and I am happy with where I am right now. So, if I could go back and change anything, honestly, I probably wouldn't. Like, I really enjoy where I am. Are there things that could be better? Of course, there are always going to be things that could be better. But I'm happy with all the decisions I've made so far.
That's awesome. You know, that's a lot of people don't have that firm knowledge or that confidence in yourself. So that's an example. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
That's I mean that's something I still struggle with, is just like the what if, like. and
Yeah.
and I'm trying to be better at being more present and just focusing on the steps ahead of me instead of like 10, 20 steps ahead, you know.
For
um
sure. I get that. I'm always a very forward thinker too. I
yeah.
always thinking about what's happening next rather than thinking about what's happening now.
And it's crazy, like it just, I never used to have like huge anxiety until I did switch my career path to music. And um I think actually the pandemic kind of heightened it too, when we were like stuck in
Yeah,
the house and stuff like that. So
for sure.
it's, you know, something I'm working out, and I'll get there.
Pikachu says Theo plays the skin flute.
Oh, on the daily. I've been streaming for 4 years now, but I've been consistent for like a year, where, you know, I do
Got it.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. But whatever, that's my schedule. That's what works for you. So find out what works for you, and then without fail, just stick with it. And I saw this on a TikTok. The guy, he said, again, streaming's not hard, um, but it's the commitment that we fail. Like, he's like, you'll go to work, right? If your boss tells you to take out the trash, what do?
You
You
do it.
take out the trash, right?
Yeah.
Like, even if you don't like it,
Instantly.
you'll do it instantly.
Yep.
If he tells you to go do something, go help a client or whatever, you'll do it, right? But for yourself, why, like, if you make a schedule, and that's like, make it your job, you know? Like, if you don't show up for yourself, that's like an insult to yourself. Like, you're
Yeah.
putting your boss and your job as like a respect level higher than yourself. So you gotta like change that. So like, make yourself your boss, and then, you know, match that energy. That's all it is, really.
Yeah, that's a good mentality.
No, it
For
is.
sure.
Because it's like, why are you gonna respect someone else over yourself? You know, like, you should always come first, right?
That's true.
I mean, you go to work because you need to pay your bills, right? Like, and all that stuff. But like, what are you doing for yourself to get to the next level, or to follow with your dreams and stuff?
The only thing that comes to my mind is kind of on a more negative note, but I guess I just kind of underestimated how tough it would be to find a full-time job.
Hmm.
Like and honestly, there's probably a good bit of that is because of the pandemic
Oh
and the
yeah, for sure.
situation at hand. But all throughout college, it was always like, oh yeah, everyone is able to land a job. Like it's like TCNJ looks amazing on your resume. Like it's
Hmm.
gonna like things like that. And then one thing led to another. I graduate, and here I am. Uh, I can't even do math right now. How many months later? Like
It's
seven
almost
months,
been,
6 or 7 months. May,
well,
June, July, August, September, October, November.
we're going into our second year of the pandemic, technically.
Yeah, but I was even saying since I graduated, like it's been over half a year and still haven't found a full time job.
Hmm.
So it's hard. But with that in mind, on the opposite side of the coin, I got this long term sub position that I've been in the past 2 weeks, and I'm in throughout this whole week. And that just kind of fell into my lap because of knowing people. Like so much of business, whether it be like teaching or just business in general, like anything, is about having connections,
Oh, definitely.
knowing people, establishing a network.
Hmm.
And it's actually the person who got me this long term sub position was my former high school band director.
Oh, awesome.
He ended up leaving my high school within the past year or so
Okay.
and he took a job as the supervisor of like visual and performing arts in this other district. And he heard about the opening that was probably going to happen, and I was the first person he reached out to because he knew that I had been struggling with finding a job.
Right.
So he was like, "Hey, any experience is good experience. Get in here." And it was originally just for 2 weeks. So it at first ended the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. So what, almost a week ago.
Right.
But I get a call from the teacher I was subbing in for on like Friday or Saturday. And she was like, "Hey, the doctor extended my leave. Would you want to come back for a week?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, absolutely." So now it's getting to the point where like teacher like for 2 weeks it's hard because like I can make connections with the students, but like I won't really connect to too many of the teachers.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's getting to the point that teachers are recognizing me. So like I'm starting to become a face that people know. And again, that's all a part of that networking, all a part of getting to know people
Yeah. Yeah.
and putting
Definitely.
my face out there so that if for any reason a music teaching position pops up in the district, I may be the first one they let know.
Yeah. No, it's definitely who you know, especially in the art industry. Um, you're on the East Coast. You know, you got New York there. They're huge on theater and music,
Yeah,
and
for
I would
sure.
say the East Coast actually kind of has it down better than the West Coast when it comes to the music industry and actually working in the arts. Here we got
I'd say
LA,
so. Yeah.
Hollywood. That's pretty much about it. Um,
I feel like it's kind of they're both huge markets,
mhm.
but for different genres of music,
Yeah,
if that makes sense. Like, I feel like bands will often go to West Coast, like LA sort of area, if they're trying to blow up in like like forming a band's like concert scene.
right.
Meanwhile, here on the East Coast, it's more of a sort of classical type. Like people go
Yeah.
for like Broadway,
Oh,
or
definitely.
they go for like the New York Philharmonic, for example. They're one of the greatest symphony orchestras in the world.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know. I can see both sides going either way,
Yeah.
but
It's more. Yeah, definitely on this side, it's more modern. Um,
yeah, for sure.
all right, guys, we're gonna get this next bingo going. I'll give you 30 seconds if you haven't already joined in. This is for a. We're doing a pack tournament.
Pokemon Platinum Nuzlocke, like a
Oh,
randomizer Nuzlocke.
I hate those.
And I mean, I was so excited to get it started, but then I got busy, stopped streaming, and then the new Pokemon came out. So I feel like people aren't really going to care about me going back to Platinum. Like I should
Right.
be playing the new game, but
I mean,
like I don't know.
it's really up to you though, right? Like at the end of the day.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's what I want to play. So I guess
Exactly.
I'm the one telling myself that.
Yeah. No,
But
I feel it too, because uh,
I want to try to stay, hip with the times. But
you gotta
it's
find yourself. That's what it is.
yeah,
I mean, it wasn't until my third year that I was like, you know what, this is Pokemon's the path I'm going down, and um, you can definitely do a lot. Like you, I'm not saying you have to stick to one game, but you can definitely brand yourself around what it is.
yeah,
Like
for
you
sure.
brand yourself around your personality more than
Yeah,
anything. You know,
and
like
that's what I've been trying to do. I make all of my like channel descriptions and stuff something along the lines of like incredibly average at every game I play.
right.
So like I never base it on like, oh, I'm the best Halo player in the world. Like
Oh
that is
yeah,
a bold-faced lie. But I like to think that I'm funny and I try my best to stream a variety of games to reach out to different audiences, things like that.
yeah. I mean, putting your community first, whether it's 100 people or one person, you know, like
Yeah.
focus on who's there. And
Speaking of community, I am trying to push for if I get 100 followers, I am doing a giveaway. Cool little thing I decided to do.
there you go, guys.
I if as soon as I hit 100 followers, I'm planning to give away two $20 gift cards to whatever gaming service you prefer. So the winner gets to choose like, oh, like I want a Steam gift card or I want a Nintendo Switch gift card and I want to give that back to the community.
um I'm
But I
signing
got to
up.
hit 100 followers first. I think
Guys, go
I'm
follow
at a
him
cool
right now.
70. I'm only 30 followers away.
You'll get there.
Yeah,
um
and like I care less about subs, although technically people can sub to me because I'm an affiliate.
mhm.
But my main goal right now is just to gain followage.
Yeah, no, seriously, they'll come with time.
Yeah,
And I don't really care.
Lee still blowing up chat.
Lee, you're one of the best mods I got, man. Yeah, as long as you focus on your content and
Yeah,
the people that are there, you're
for
Gucci,
sure.
man.
And with all these new games coming out, like it's not like I am gonna be like grasping at straws for content. Like I can record Battlefield, I can record Halo. As soon as I finally pull the trigger on a capture card, I'll record Pokemon,
Hmm.
things like that. I definitely want to get on all that, but it's again, I just got to find the time.
No, yeah, it's time is money these days, right? It's always a battle, like especially in our field. I feel like you really got to be wearing a lot of different hats. Um,
100%.
especially you're kind of, I would say, you're kind of self-employed, right? You're a lot of these things are like contract based unless you're actually
Technically, like
working
yeah,
with a company. And you just, again, you gotta keep that pedestal where, like, hey, I'm the boss and I'm also the employee, so
right.
prioritize what you need to get done.
Sigma grind set, right? And that's what
Yeah.
that meme is. You know that one, the Sigma grind set?
No, I don't.
Oh gosh, it's so funny. It's like like the Giga Chad, like the big like burly dude that's like always saying like, "Oh, I'm like better than everyone because I'm simple," like things like that. Like
N-
it spawned off of that.
really?
And yeah,
Is there a video we can watch?
there's probably some sort of stupid video you could find. Probably if you look it up, but I don't know how funny any of them are gonna actually be.
It's all good.
I'm just very deep into meme culture, so I reference memes a lot.
I used to be pretty savvy with the memes, but
That's one thing too when it comes to teaching. Like my students will reference like TikTok memes that I know and love, but I have to be like this serious like I am an educator. I cannot I cannot break this character.
why not?
Well, I mean, I can.
You
Like
could
it's
you could connect on their level and still keep it
yeah.
professional.
Yeah, like that's the thing. It's about finding that line between like getting too close with them and still maintaining the professionalism. And like
Yeah.
I'm just it's a tough thing to gamble with when it comes to teaching. Like
Yeah.
and also it depends on the age group for me. Like I don't want to with my high schoolers, I feel like I could be a little bit more open about referencing that stuff because they're a little more mature.
Right, right.
But like if I find myself referencing the wrong meme with a group of middle schoolers that I'm teaching at the subbing placement, then that's going to be the only thing they remember me by. And I don't want that.
Yeah.
Like like, for instance, a funny story. When I was in college, we had these things called practicum placements, where like we would go to a school once a week and like just kind of observe a teacher, or like the teacher may have us like actually teach a lesson at some point throughout the day. And at one of my placements my sophomore year, I I was just taking notes on my laptop, not really thinking anything of it.
Yeah.
And then I remembered that on my old laptop, I had a sticker like on the back that just said Meme Lord in Comic Sans font. And because of that sticker, the fifth graders in my placement would always call me Meme Lord whenever they saw me in the classroom. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh God, this isn't good. Like, then it just kind of like devolved. But like it got to the point where I was like poking fun with it, like kind of egging them on, and like it was good. But again, it's all about finding that balance.
Yeah. Yeah. And with like I've always been interested in teaching, and I've never been like a teacher for school or anything, but in other things in life I've been a teacher. Like for
Sure, yeah.
instance, um, before the pandemic, I used to put on shows, right? And that was like my main income. I would put on these EDM shows. We'd hire
Right.
out an artist and all that. And so I did a lot of teaching as far as leadership roles, for like my promoters and stuff like that.
That makes sense.
But as a teacher, what do you think is like the most difficult thing to do?
Um Honestly, what I struggle with most is the behind the scenes stuff. Like the stuff that like not a lot of people think about when they're like when someone says like I want to be a teacher, they think about like wanting to have an impression on the kids, like teach
Right.
a subject they're passionate about, things like that. And then you get into actually having a job and you realize like, oh, I need to stay on top of grading, or like, oh, I need to write this entire curriculum and
Uh-huh.
have it turned into my principal before the start of the year. And yeah, like Larry has just said, lesson planning. Lesson planning sucks.
Yeah,
I hate writing lesson plans.
I can definitely
Like
see
it
that.
is just so there's so much logistical garbage that no one talks about when it comes to teaching. And then there's like faculty meetings. They're staying on top of like making sure the school is running well.
Yeah.
And like don't even get me started on the disciplinary stuff when it comes to kids. Like, oh my gosh.
Do you prefer teaching like high schoolers over middle school?
1000%. I hate middle school.
Oh.
I want to teach either high school or elementary school.
Michael Jordan just
And
entered
right
the
now,
chat room.
what's that?
I said Michael Jordan just entered the chat room. F them kids.
Oh, I love that video. But yeah, I just don't like middle school. Like the age they're all so awkward.
Yeah.
And like I just don't know how to handle awkward.
Yeah. I get it.
Like I am not good with like some of the things the kids say, I just have to try to brush off and act like I didn't hear.
Yeah. It's so
Because
out of
like I
pocket.
like exactly. It is incredibly out of pocket. And like at least if an elementary school kid says something out of pocket, then it's cute. Like middle school, they're getting to the point where they know what they're saying, so they understand the gravity of whatever just left their mouth. Meanwhile, if some little third grader drops the F bomb in the middle of class, like sure, it's not a good thing, but at least that's like kind of funny.
Yeah.
Like if a middle schooler does it, you just have to punish them.
Yeah. What's the most out of pocket story you have from like
Oh
middle school?
God. So it's another one from one of my practicum placements while I was in college.
Uh-huh.
Um, it was a middle school placement. Me and my friends would go to this middle school every Wednesday. And one of the mornings we were sitting in one of the group lessons. It was a clarinet lesson, I think. And they were going around the room and like the director was having them each play this segment of a piece. And they one of the kids went and the kid like screwed it up. Like I forget exactly what he screwed up. But like this director at the time was like n- he was very old fashioned, but like in kind of a good way. And like he would always like poke fun at the kids. Like he would like pretty much directly make fun of them, but all of the kids knew that he meant it with a good heart.
Right.
So at one point, one of the kids messed up, and I think it was because the kid was like talking, like saying like, "Oh, like they messed this up. Oh, they messed that up," like pointing up everyone else's faults.
Hmm.
And then he played it and he screwed it up. So the teacher was like, "Haha, they screwed it up." Everyone point and laugh, like as a like obviously like super as a joke.
Right.
And then one of the kids from in the ensemble says like out of completely nowhere is like, "Yeah, we should dump blood on them." And me and my friend turned to each other and we were like, "What the hell did he just say?"
Yo, he's a
Like
dark child.
like yeah, like I'm like, talk about an emo phase. Like we should dump a bucket of blood on them. Like I was like, what on earth?
I bet you had a creepy laugh too, huh?
Yes, I can't even try to replicate it. But like the kid, and it's like they said that, and like me and my friend like looked at each other, but then we looked at the director, and the director made the same exact face at us, like the look of what on earth just came out of that kid's mouth.
Yeah, you guys are gonna have
And
to
it
report
was
that kid
so
to.
funny. Yeah, hilarious. Exactly. It was like Carrie. Like I,
You're
like
gonna
you
have.
get a bucket of pig's blood dumped on you. Like I'm like, whoa.
You should have reported that kid to the FBI. You know, you're gonna have to watch on.
Yeah, right.
um,
Hello, police. We have a psycho in this classroom.
Clap Attack says, "Conk, do you think the pandemic had a larger negative effect on music education compared to other arts with the remote learning?"
At the risk of sounding biased, absolutely. Because in the simplest terms, tell me how the hell you teach a kid to play the clarinet over a Zoom call.
With the delay
Please.
too.
I beg of you, how do you teach a kid how to play the clarinet over a Zoom call? Because that was my entire student teaching experience. Like, I student taught in the middle of the pandemic, and I was teaching fourth and fifth grade band. So I was teaching kids how to pick up the instrument for the first time without being able to like grab the instrument from them or like physically show them the pieces of the clarinet.
Yeah.
It was hell on earth.
And then keeping their attention span, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like if I try to tell a kid like, hey, like if a kid one example, a kid was chewing gum during a trumpet lesson. And if you
Mhm.
know anything about instruments, like it's a wind instrument. You are blowing air into that. And that kid has a piece of gum. He is about to blow that piece of gum into the trumpet. I told him, I need you to spit out the gum, please, because you can't play your trumpet. This little punk's solution was just to turn off his camera. That was it. He just shut off the camera, didn't like didn't
Yeah.
turn it back on for the rest of the lesson. I was like, dude, are you serious?
Yeah.
And like, what am I gonna do? Like, I can't tell him to turn it back on.
Yeah. Like how?
And
Yeah,
like, well,
how do
I
you even
can, but
discipline
he's
that?
just not gonna do it.
Yeah. I know.
Like, it's it was awful. Yeah, I really think that the pandemic had such a negative effect on music education. I heard stories of so many districts just completely folding their music program, like just giving up, not even bother trying to do it. Which, like, my gut says, like I understand where they're coming from. Like, why bother trying to teach it if it's not going to affect the kids positively? But to me, like, even though I hated the experience of trying to teach the instruments, it's like the kids are still enjoying it.
Yeah.
Like they're doing band because they're choosing to do band.
Yeah.
So like they want to have the instrument in their hands. So they're going to do everything in their power to learn it.
Right.
And like of course you're going to have the one or two bad kids that shut off their camera because they're eating. But like I could never imagine getting to the point where like, oh, this just isn't working. Let's just give up.
Yeah.
Like just
It,
try something new. Try a different approach. go about it this way rather than that way. Like I don't
I
know.
my hat goes off to you, man. I don't. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, it's tough enough being a middle schooler and you're trying to figure out like who you are. Uh, I mean, I'm still trying to figure out who am I, but
Yeah, but
that's just
middle
tough.
schoolers are just so weird. They they're
We'll
so weird, man.
we'll get
That's
back.
why I like I really like high school. Because high school is like that's when kids start to actually like mature. Like and that's another thing about middle school. Like most middle schoolers are going actively going through puberty,
Mhm.
and that is just the worst. Like no one is happy when they're going through that.
Yeah, no, it's
So it like high school, they're past that point. They understand who they are and like especially for high school music, like every kid who is in high school band is actively choosing to be in high school band.
right.
So they want to be there as much as I want to teach them. But like
But
they're
they're still
also like
super
still
dorky and like
yeah,
don't
they're
know
still
anything.
young enough that they're innocent and like it's so funny. I love 5th graders.
What's the I'm sure like as a teacher, like you have stories where they get mad at you and stuff like that, or you maybe just butt heads with a student or something. Is there like an insult you were that you've been given that you've been proud of? Like, what's the best insult you've gotten as a teacher?
Oh man, what a good question. Oh shoot. Um
We already know the best compliment. You got meme lord, so.
yeah, honestly. Um man, I don't know if I've
Like maybe when to think of it a little better, like as a teacher, you're like you're saying you're trying to reach some level of success, and then like someone like insults you, like, haha, yeah, I'm a teacher now.
I guess the closest thing I can think of is that I actually during the subbing placement that I'm in right now, I there was a point where one of the kids in one of my classes was just being super disrespectful, like going around talking to all the other kids, like causing a scene, like distracting kids like that.
Hmm.
And like it got to the point where the class was getting pretty loud. So I stood up from my desk and I wasn't like yelling, but I did raise my voice a little bit, just kind of saying, like, I don't understand why you all are not respecting me. Like, I know for a fact that if your like regular teacher was in here, you'd be treating her with more respect. But because I'm technically a substitute, that means that you can just walk all over me. And they all instantly shut up.
Dang.
And it got like after that, like I had some of them come back to the classroom afterwards and they were like, hey, I hope because it was a Friday. They were like, oh, have you hope you have a great weekend, Mr. C. Or like I hope that like things like that. And I was like, oh, so all of a sudden you're starting to be nice to me because you realize that I'm an actual teacher,
Yeah.
that I'm not just a substitute. Like I know what I'm doing.
Yeah. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Dude, that's, again, you're coming in hard with that confidence.
Yeah. A lot of kids like and like don't get me wrong, I was in their seat not too long ago. So I know that when a sub came in the classroom, the last thing you felt like doing was getting your work done.
Yeah.
So I like I would build off that. Like I would say like, yeah, I wow, I totally just lost my train of thought. But yeah, I made them realize like and I mentioned to some of them like, yeah, I'm an actual teacher. Like I'm trying to teach music for a living.
Hmm.
And they like when I started mentioning that, they were like, "Oh, so like this guy's actually kind of legit." It's a cool feeling.
With teaching, do you have to get like certain hours with substituting before you're
Oh, no, no, no. And
okay?
like you have to have like hours in terms of like during college, like you have to get like a certain amount of hours like to in order to like graduate to get your well, not graduate, but to get your teaching certificate.
Hmm.
Like you need like a certain amount of hours spent in the classroom. And like I hit that through college, obviously. But yeah, as soon as you graduate and you get your like full-time teaching cert, like it's not like you have to have X amount of hours or you lose your certificate.
Right. Okay. So like, I guess if someone was interested in teaching or whatever, um, like what's some advice you can give to them if they're just starting out?
Um, hmm. The best advice that I can give any aspiring teacher is find the line between personality and professionalism as soon as you can. Because as soon as you find that line, that's when you can start like showing your authentic personality in the classroom without overstepping boundaries.
Right.
And I think that that is when most teachers are at their peak is when they finally find that level of comfortability with teaching
Hmm.
that they can be themselves but still be this like figurehead.
Authority figure. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great advice, man. Like,
Yeah.
I feel
It's
like
the first thing that comes to my mind.
that's like applicable in everything, though, right? Like,
That's true.
you know, um, something actually we haven't really got into. Like, do you like compose music on your spare time or anything like that?
It's been a while. I I used to like when I was like early in college or like honestly when I was in high school, I did a lot of like less so writing my own music, but like I would arrange music. Like
Hmm.
I arranged a couple songs for my marching band to play in the stands at football games, which was kind of fun.
Yeah.
But I like composing a piece of music has always been something that I've wanted to tackle, but I've just never really gotten around to it.
Yeah.
And also, I don't know if like because my brain instantly goes to composing something for like a band, like a wind ensemble, like something that I would teach.
Right. Right.
But I also like I wonder like what if I were to try compose like writing a song that like a like a pop song for lack of a better term. Like would I be interested in doing anything like that?
Yeah.
It I don't know.
It's a
It's
different
never really been
mindset.
something that's yeah. It's never been something that's like on the forefront of my mind,
Hmm.
but it's always something I enjoy doing.
Just creating in general, right?
Yeah, I really enjoy just making music in any capacity. So whether it be like writing something of my own, arranging something, or just playing something, like even if I'm not playing for an audience, just like I can tilt my camera a little bit. I have a piano here. And like sometimes I'll just like noodle around on that piano if I got nothing else to do.
Yeah. Of course, you gotta keep up with your practicing and stuff.
Yeah, and that's somewhere where I faltered a bit in that I haven't touched my trumpet in a while.
Yeah.
But that's something like I'm keep telling myself like I'm gonna start practicing again. Like and honestly I might do it this week. Like I was thinking like, oh maybe I'll find a day I'll actually sit down and play something on my trumpet for the first time in a while.
No, yeah, I'm definitely guilty to it. We're gonna get this next bingo started. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to get on top of this. Good luck to you guys. We got 6 players.
I better win this time, I swear.
We still got our pack battle too, so don't worry about it.
That's true, that's true.
By the way, what do you wanna do for that? You wanna feeling fusion, evolving, chilling reigns,
Ooh.
whatever.
Um I would say I'm cool with either Fusion Strike or Evolving Skies. I like them both.
Okay, we'll flip a coin.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Man, you got a lot of knowledge, dude. I'm
Thanks,
definitely
man.
um I'm already impressed with who you are as a person and stuff. That's exactly why I wanted to get you on the call. But um,
That means a lot. Thank you.
no, yeah, like I respect anyone that's willing to put others before themselves, you know, and you do that with teaching every day. You got to think about what they need to learn and not what you want to teach them, you know, a lot of times, I'm
Definitely.
sure. So, and then music, man, you know, you won me over right there too. So like, hey, I'm big on that,
Yeah, I
and
love it.
it's cool too because like you're from more like the kind of like classical, um,
Yeah.
instrumental. I'm more technical. Like I could see that's I can't really read music, but
Okay.
I can write it if that makes sense. Like I can,
Yeah. Like
um,
you know what you like, you know what sounds good,
yeah,
and like you're good at like when you like make like let's say for instance like when you sit down to create something like do you just like open up like a certain like music making software and you go from there?
yeah. So
Like you
I have software that I use, and
okay.
I can literally plug in like a MIDI keyboard, and
Oh, cool.
I can play out the notes, and it will it you can put it in a mode where it'll be written, or
Oh, that's awesome.
it's in tab form where it's
Yeah, like for guitars and stuff, or
mhm.
like even pianos can sometimes read tablature.
Yeah, so I that's how I learned how to play like the guitar, and actually the first instrument I played was the ukulele.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
yeah, I got it for my 16th birthday. My cousin, he was visiting from Hawaii, and he brought it because he knew it was my,
Oh, that's so cool.
yeah, he knew I wanted to get into it, and I I felt that was when I really fell in love with just playing music and stuff.
For sure. I was always like very into music. Like even when I was like a baby, like I would always just jam out to whatever music my parents had on the radio. And I think I'm trying to remember. I think my like first instrument was a oof, man, this is it's hard for me to remember. It may honestly have been like a little harmonica that my parents got me just kind of like on a whim and like I was just messing around with that, like making different little melodies, things like that. And then my first like main instrument was the trumpet when I played that in fourth grade.
Hmm.
And I have a guitar, but I'm not great at guitar.
I'm not either, but
It's tough. It is really just a tough instrument.
yeah.
Harmonicas are underrated. Harmonicas are underrated. I have one.
Not
I
if
have
you
a
like
bunch of like
blues.
I
If
have
you're
a
into blues,
weird
it's
collection of like various different instruments, like little silly instruments. Like I have a couple kazoos. I have I have a melodica. Do you know what a melodica is?
no.
A melodica it's that little like handheld piano that you there's like a pipe connected to or like a tube connected to it and you blow air into it and like you play the piano.
Oh, okay.
And
Is
have you ever you know the show The Office?
yeah.
The theme song, like the ba ba ba,
Oh, okay.
that's played on a melodica.
Really? I didn't
It
know
kind
that.
of sounds like a harmonica, but it's like it's played on it's like a keyboard instrument.
Okay.
It's really fun. So I just have this eclectic little collection of instruments. I also have an automaton. You know, have you ever seen those? It looks like a little music note. Like you like squeeze it and like slide your finger up and down
Yeah,
it, like
yeah,
it
yeah.
gives you different pitches. Automatons are funny.
You got quite the collection there. So
I have a couple
what was
trumpets
like
too,
was it the trumpet that that made you fell in love with music, or
for sure.
what was that moment where you're like, "Dang, I want to do this forever." Like
I guess the moment where I realized like this is what I want to spend the rest of my life doing was like once I started to realize how much I really loved playing the trumpet in like high school and like playing it like all throughout like elementary school, middle school. It was kind of just like a hobby.
Yeah.
Like I did it because like my friends did it, like that sort of deal. But then it was like through marching band and everything, I kind of came to realize like, wow, music is like so much more to me than I realized.
Yeah.
And it just kind of evolved from there.
And on that
And
note, oh,
yeah,
sorry, go ahead.
no, 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 you're good. I was just kind of rambling.
Yeah, no. And on that note, we'll kind of wrap things up. I just wanted to close this wonderful podcast session with a quote. It's actually from Louis Armstrong, and he said, "Music is life itself."
I know that quote well. I,
What does that mean to you?
music is life itself.
Music is life itself.
To me, that has so many meanings to me, honestly. I my gut goes to the fact that music itself to me is a living, breathing organism. In a sense, like music has this way about it. Like I don't think that there's a single person on this planet that doesn't listen to music. Like, I cannot imagine that there is someone on this earth who actively takes steps to avoid listening to music. Like, that sounds almost impossible to me
Yeah.
because music is like, it is so, it's cultural. Like, there are entire cultures built around it. There are like so many different facets of life just completely engulfed around music. And like even our culture, like here in the United States, like there's so much about like concert culture or like teaching music in schools or like there's so many different facets to it. And like it's I could go on about this for hours if I
No,
had
yeah.
the time.
I totally agree with
But
you, man.
yeah, it is just music is just this incredible thing that everyone experiences differently. Like you can have a room full of 200 people all listening to the same song. And if you asked every single one of those 200 people how they felt during the song, you would get a different answer. And I think that that is the most incredible thing.
Yeah.
Like the fact that music affects everyone differently and like it also depends on your mood or like depends on where you are in your life. Like you could hear a song and it could be the most uplifting thing one week and then the next week you hear it and the lyrics just hit different. And
No,
like
yeah.
it just makes you feel like super emotional.
Yeah.
Like
I always say music is life because it is emotion, right? Like you watch something on TV, imagine watching it without music. It doesn't hit the same way.
yeah,
And
exactly.
it's the one language we all speak. You know,
Yes.
we can come from
Yes,
all
it is the
different.
universal language.
Exactly. We come from different aspects, different lives, but like music, I would say music and food will always bring people together.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, thank you
I
so much, my
yeah.
guy. I don't want to keep you. I know you got things to do tomorrow.
Yeah, it's all good.
You're a busy man. You're a busy man. The Captain Conk, thank you.
I
Um,
appreciate it. This was so much fun, just
yeah.
getting to ramble and talk about
No,
stuff.
yeah, definitely. It's great, man. This is what it's about, right? This is life, right? To connect with
Absolutely.
people, to learn from each other, to grow. So in that Chris, the substitute teacher to going on to being the professor that teaches band and everything, why don't you let everybody know how they can find you, and we'll close it down.
For sure. If you want to check out like any of my streaming stuff, uh Lee's doing a great job of spamming that in chat right now. Um Captain Conk on Twitch. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter if you want to check me out there. Or if you feel obligated to try and follow me on personal social medias, feel free to maybe just, I don't know if I want to share that out to this entire Twitch stream. So if you want to follow me there, you can hit me up. Just like DM me on either Instagram or Twitter or anything like that, and I'll let you know. I'm always down to just have a conversation. If you just want to talk about music or talk about anything, I like to think that I'm a pretty good ear for anyone who wants to talk or anything like that.
All right, Cap. Well, there you have it, guys. Go follow him on all his social media and Twitter, and of course, give him a follow on Twitch, man. And maybe
Lee even dropping the Instagram and Twitter links.
maybe you get lucky when he does his giveaway.
That's true. You just got to be a follower, though.
Exactly. All right, my guy. Thank you for this episode. It's been fun. And
yeah, thank you so much. This was
till next time. We'll see you guys later.
Peace.